Ibudo had always been known for its strange occurrences. Livestock would go missing under the full moon, and children, once bursting with energy, would return home from the forest with vacant eyes. Elders would often say, "Beware of those who hide in the night," implying that witches lurked in every shadow. The village healer, Mama Ireti, who could feel the pulse of the earth beneath her feet, had a different saying. Not only witches have horns, even those in suits can hide a devil's intent. Mama Ireti's words rang in the ears of everyone, but they didn't understand. What did she mean? Was there more to fear than witches in the night? The villagers couldn't fathom the meaning until one fateful year, when a stranger arrived in Ibudo, bringing with him change and chaos. One hot afternoon, a man named Durojaye returned to the village after living in Lagos for many years. Durojaye had once been a boy of Ibudo, chasing goats and picking wild mangoes. Now, he was a wealthy man. He wore a crisp tailored suit and had a leather briefcase that he carried as if it held the secrets of the world. His arrival was met with a mix of awe and suspicion. He brought news of the outside world, where men didn't wrestle with spirits but with money and power. He told stories of glass towers reaching the sky, of cars that moved without a driver, and of fortunes made in the blink of an eye. The villagers were fascinated by Durojaye. He spoke with a smooth tongue and an easy smile that made everyone believe in the dreams he painted. He promised to bring development to Ibudo, a modern school for the children, a hospital for the sick, and roads that would make the journey to Lagos a matter of hours, not days. The elders, dazzled by his visions and tired of the village's unchanging ways, welcomed him with open arms. They saw him as a savior, a son of Ibudo, who had returned to uplift his people. But not everyone was convinced. Mama Ireti, her eyes clouded with the wisdom of countless years, watched him closely. "The horns are not always visible," she muttered to herself. She sensed something in him, a darkness hidden beneath his polished exterior. Durojaye's arrival sparked a frenzy of activity in Ibudo. The men worked from dawn till dusk, clearing land for the new projects he promised. The women sang songs of hope, believing their children's futures were about to be transformed. Durojaye became the talk of the village, a symbol of what Ibudo could become, a village no longer trapped in the past but catapulted into a prosperous future. Months passed and the changes Durojaye had promised were slow to materialize. The school was half built, a skeletal frame against the sky. The hospital was nothing more than a pile of bricks. The villagers, who had invested their time and meager savings, began to grow restless. Rumors started circulating that Durojaye had been seen meeting with strange men in the nearby town of Ijebu. These men wore suits like him, but their eyes were cold and calculating. One night, as the moon hung low and full, a loud commotion erupted near the forest's edge. A young boy named Kola had gone missing. His mother, wailing and clutching at her chest, claimed that he had been taken by a spirit. The villagers, remembering their age-old fears, gathered torches and weapons, ready to scour the forest. But Mama Ireti stopped them. "Wait," she said, her voice carrying an unearthly calm. "This is not the work of spirits or witches. This is the work of men, men with horns hidden beneath their smiles." Her words sent a chill through the crowd. Could it be? Could Durojaye, their own kinsman, be involved in such darkness? The villagers hesitated, torn between their suspicions and the hope Durojaye had brought them. Mama Ireti insisted that she be allowed to go into the forest alone. She needed to listen to the earth, to hear the truth whispered by the ancient spirits. Reluctantly, they agreed. Mama Ireti disappeared into the darkness of the forest, the night swallowing her whole. Hours passed, and just as dawn's first light crept over the horizon, she returned. In her hands, she held a small blood-stained cloth. "The boy is gone," she announced, "but his spirit cries out. There is a foulness in our midst, and it wears a man's face." The village was thrown into turmoil. Durojaye, who had been asleep in his newly constructed mansion, was dragged out and confronted. His calm demeanor cracked for the first time, and he demanded to know why he was being treated like a criminal. "Where is the boy?" Mama Ireti asked, her voice stern and unwavering. "I know nothing of any boy," Durojaye replied, but his eyes darted nervously. It was then that a young girl stepped forward, her small face set with determination. I saw him, she said. I saw Durojaya take Kola into the forest. The crowd erupted, voices overlapping with accusations and cries for justice. Durojaya denied it vehemently, but the seed of doubt had been sown. The elders decided that the truth would be sought through the old ways. The oracle would speak. The villagers marched Durojaya to the shrine of the oracle, a place where the living did not tread lightly. As the oracle, a young woman with eyes as deep as the river, began to speak, the air grew heavy. The horns of deceit are not always visible, she said. They grow from greed and ambition, hiding beneath the cloak of good intentions. Suddenly, Durojaya began to laugh, a deep, hollow sound that sent shivers through the crowd. His polished veneer crumbled, revealing the man beneath. You think you can stop progress with your primitive ways? He sneered. I brought you the future, and this is how you repay me? Fools, all of you! At that moment, men in suits, the same ones rumored to have been seen with Durojaye, emerged from the surrounding trees. They were armed, their eyes devoid of empathy. The villagers, unarmed and terrified, felt the ground slip beneath their feet. Durojaye's true nature had been revealed, not as a savior, but as a serpent. The men in suits began to round up the villagers, binding their hands with rough ropes. It was then that Mama Ireti, standing tall and unyielding, raised her voice. You think you are above the spirits of this land, but you will see. Just as she spoke, the sky darkened, and a great wind swept through the village, knocking down trees and causing the men in suits to stumble. The earth rumbled beneath them, as if angered by the betrayal of one of its own. From the depths of the forest came a deafening roar, and out of the shadows stepped a giant horned creature, a manifestation of the land's fury. The men in suits scattered, their courage vanishing like mist in the morning sun. Durojaye fell to his knees, his confidence shattered. No, no, this is not possible, he cried out. I am a man of the city, a man of progress. In the chaos, the villagers found a way to break free. The men in suits, realizing their weapons were useless against such an ancient power, fled. Durojaye, stripped of his bravado, was bound and brought back to the village. Mama Ireti, her eyes burning with the wisdom of the ages, approached him. You sought to bring the city to our village, she said, but you forgot that the land remembers. The spirits do not forget. With Durojaye's confession, it became clear that he had been part of a corrupt syndicate. They had been using the village's labor and resources to build a facade of development while pocketing the profits. The missing boy, Kola, had been a pawn in their game, a means to instill fear and control. But the boy's disappearance, it turned out, was not his death. Kola had been taken by the men in suits but had managed to escape, hiding in the forest until the right moment. When he emerged, dirty and scared but alive, the villagers were overcome with relief and joy. Mama Ireti had known his spirit was still near, but even she had not known the full extent of the truth. The village of Ibudo learned a powerful lesson that day. Not all that glitters is gold, and not all that promises progress. With Durojaye's deception exposed and his accomplices scattered, Ibudo faced a new dawn. The villagers, battered but resolute, gathered to discuss their future. They had been swayed by the dreams Durojaye painted, and in doing so, had nearly lost their way. Mama Ireti, standing among them like a tall Iroko tree, spoke softly, yet her words carried the weight of 1,000 ancestors. We believed in a stranger's promise because we feared our simplicity, she began. But remember, it is in the roots of our traditions, in the wisdom of our forefathers, that we find our strength. The city's ways are not always evil, but we must not lose ourselves chasing after them. Let this be a lesson to us all. Even those who wear suits can carry horns beneath. The elders nodded, absorbing her words like the parched earth drinking in the first rains. They decided to continue the projects that Durojaye had started, but on their own terms. The half-built school would be completed, not by the corrupt hands of outsiders, but by the villagers themselves. The bricks for the hospital would be laid with the same dedication they had for their ancestors' shrines. Days turned into weeks, and a spirit of unity swept through Ibudo. The men worked tirelessly under the sun, and the women sang songs that echoed across the hills, reminding everyone of their shared purpose. Mama Ireti, though old, was always present, guiding them with her wisdom. She would often say, We need the knowledge of the new world, but we must build it on the foundation of the old. Just a reminder that not all witches have horns or wear black. They might be your colleague, neighbor, or even your closest relative. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, share, and leave me a comment in the comment section. Also, do not forget to subscribe and click on your notifications bell to get notified when I upload another beautiful story. Until next time, stay blessed.